Hey, what is going on, you guys? I hope that you guys are having an awesome day on this day. This is the day that the Lord has made, and we shall be glad in it. I hope that you guys are enjoying this fabulous day. It's still fabulous. Even though it's cold out here in Illinois, it is still a fabulous day to me. I am still excited about just even being here in the land of the living. A lot of people have transitioned and gone on to the other side, but thank God that I am still here in the land of the living, and I'm still going strong in my assignment and everything that God has called me to do. I am so excited just about life, and I hope that you guys are excited about life no matter what comes up against your way, no matter what comes to stop you. I hope that you guys are excited about life. Even if you've gotten to a point where you're feeling down, this is not the time to be by yourself feeling down. This is the time to be excited about new things, innovative things. This is the time to be creative. Tap into that creativity on the inside of you and just continue to pick yourself up and continue to keep on going. Don't let nothing stop you. I just to kind of give you all a piece of my testimony before I go into what I'm talking about today. I've gone through a lot in my life, in my past. Recently, as early as on last year, my house caught fire and I kind of pretty much lost everything, and then I ended up finding out I had to have open heart surgery. So throughout all of these different forms of adversity that came up against me, there was a lot in me that wanted me to quit and give up, but I kept going. I couldn't allow the disappointments. I couldn't allow the way my body felt, or even what people were saying to me. I couldn't allow that to stop me. I had to continue to get up and fight because I believed that there was something else I needed to do on this earth. I wasn't willing to give up and say, you know what, I'm done. My life is over. I'm just going to lay here and slump over and die. No, I knew that there was destiny waiting ahead of me, and I knew that I had to go on to destiny. So I am so glad to be on, so glad to come on and just really speak to you guys and empower you guys, especially all of you leaders. All of you leaders, please do not think I'm not talking to you, because we all are leaders, and I want to make sure that is known. I want to preach it to the mountaintop. I want everybody to know from where I'm at in Illinois, all across the nation, that you are a leader. So whatever I speak, whatever encouragement I'm giving to those that are leaders, because I want to empower you to rise up and become better in who you say you are, and become better in what it is you are here to do on the earth. I told God I don't want to be here if I'm going to take up space and don't do nothing. Okay? So you got to tell yourself, listen, if I'm going to take up space and I'm not going to do nothing, there ain't no purpose of me being here. But because God placed purpose down on the inside of you, there is a reason for you being here, and you got to get yourself up and you got to get it done. You got to get it done. As simple as that. Even after I had gone through my house being burning down and me losing everything, and I had to go through open heart surgery, in the midst of my recovery, I experienced 3 deaths back to back. 3 family deaths back to back while I'm trying to recover from open heart surgery. A lot of times people don't make it from that. People close to them start dying and they just had open heart surgery. That had the power to give them a heart attack, but it didn't do that to me, because I stayed cool, I stayed calm. I said, nope. I said, they're gone, and there is nothing I can do about it. Yes, I am going to grieve, but I got to pick myself up, and I got to keep going, and I got to keep living, because there's some things I want to finish here on the earth. When I die, I need to die depleted. I need to die empty. I need to die and be standing before God empty of the assignment that he has given me. And so part of my assignment is to talk to leadership, whether it be in organizations, whether it be in ministry, or whether it just be you as an individual. My assignment is to empower leaders. Okay, and I want to empower leaders by giving them the truth concerning this thing called character and leadership and stewardship. And so I'm going to talk about poor communication today. I won't be before you long when I say poor communication. The reason why, if you look at the caption, it doesn't say that poor communication is a character flaw. It doesn't say that, because poor communication is a character and a leadership flaw. You see, a lot of times when people talk about character and they talk about leadership, they talk about it as if they are one. What I found out is that a lot of people really think that if they're training people in the area of leadership, then because of the leadership qualities that they are teaching them, they think that that's enough to perfect their character, and it's not. It's a lot more to character than it is to leadership. Okay, it's a lot more to character. Character building is first, because character tells you who you are. It tells you who you are. It prepares you to be a leader. Okay, and so there are certain character traits that comes along with being a leader that we perfect when we are leaders, like organization. Organization is not a character trait, it is a leadership trait. Okay, it's a leadership trait. But what helps us to really be effective as leaders when we're operating in the gift, when I'm not gonna say in the gift, but when we're operating in that trait of organization, is the fact that we've gone through a process of character development, and it's character that's actually enhancing our leadership traits. So that ultimately, when we get the position, when we get the role, when we get the assignment, when we walk in our gift, when we walk in our talent, or anything you want to call it, when we are walking in it, everything else can be perfected. It can enhance, and we can grow on to bigger and greater things. And so I want to talk to you guys today about poor communication. I was actually watching this show, and I'm not going to tell you the name of the show, but I was watching this show, and they asked this lady, why was she willing to work with this artist? And it really broke my heart what she said. Well, I ain't going to say it broke my heart, but it really disappointed me at what she said. They asked her why was she willing to work with someone that no one else wanted to work with, and the reason why no one wanted to work with this young lady was because of her mouth. She was always going off. She was always talking crazy. She was always, saying things that she was not supposed to say. She was very disrespectful with her word. She didn't have no honor. She didn't know how to communicate with people in positions of authority. She just was, her speech, her attitude was just negative. And so she was asked the question, her manager, they asked her manager a question, why would you risk taking on this artist? And this is what she said. She said, because it's not about her behavior, it's about her gift. And that is the mentality that has crept into our society, into our nation, and into our churches, our organizations, our families, our marriages, our friendship, even the lives of our children has been infected by this thing. She said it is not about her behavior, but it is about the gift. I see the gift. I see the potential. I see the talent. And that is error. If you really want to prepare someone for greatness, you don't invest in the gift first. You invest in their behavior first. Because what you want is some longevity out of that person. You will never get longevity out of people when you only invest in their gift. When you don't invest in their character, in their behavior, if all you invested in is their gift, sooner or later it's going to weaken their performance. Okay, and so poor communication is the downfall of every relationship. And in order for you to be an effective leader, you have to make sure that you have effective communication, period. As a leader, you want to make sure that you are communicating the vision to your team. The reason why a lot of people can't run with the vision is because they don't know it. And the reason why they don't know it is because a lot of times they don't understand it. And a lot of times they don't understand it is because it hasn't been communicated to them effectively. Okay? Poor communication will put you in a position where you lose your job. It's not just poor. When you talk about poor communication, it's not just your ability to clearly make what you're saying known or relevant to the person, but poor communication is actually it's an attitude thing. Is whether or not you have a nasty attitude when you're communicating with people. It's that snapback. I like to say the snapback. You know, when you're talking to somebody and all of a sudden they just snap at you for no reason. It's the snapback. It's trying to communicate with somebody and they're not listening to what you're trying to speak wisdom to them, but they're steady going off. It goes back to that prideful person, to the person that flows in intimidation, and to that insubordinate person. That's what it goes back to. You're trying to speak to them concerning the situation that has come upon them, and instead of them listening to what you're saying, they're snapping back at you. They're going off on you. They're not respecting you. Poor communication. Poor communication will collapse everything that you're building, because when you cannot effectively communicate with your team, they won't understand where the ministry or the organization is headed. I think that communication, as I stated before, it is not just a character trait, but it is also a leadership trait. It is a trait that's actually found in all three areas of your life as it relates to character, leadership, and gift development. Without communication, you won't be able to sell whatever product you're trying to sell. Without communication, you will fail the interview. Without good communication, you got to be able to sell your product. Jesus knew how to communicate with people. He communicated with people with love and compassion, even when they made him mad. And you want to know what exposes your what's in you? It is your communication. It exposes what's really lingering on the inside of you. When you find yourself in the midst of adversity, it tells people who you really are. Because once you begin to respond to adversity, the first thing comes out is your speech. And if your speech reflect evil, hatred, then it shows me what's really in you. It shows me that you are not really ready for what you're trying to say you're ready for. So poor communication, we cannot allow it to be named among us. We have to make sure that we be better listeners. If you want to have effective communication, you have to be a better listener. You have to wake up every day and tell yourself, I'm going to be a better listener. I'm going to listen more than I speak. Sometimes that's what makes you a great communicator. It's the fact that you listen more to what everything is being said, because when you listen and you are able to understand and get everything with clarity, then you know you're ready for the position that you're trying to get. So when you find yourself in the midst of adversity, is how you respond to it that identify what kind of leader that you are. There are many different kind of leaders. There are many different kind of leaders that have different kind of capacities. Again, I always say, find your measure, find your capacity, find whatever it is that's on the same level that you're operating on. Find out your style of doing things. There are many different styles as it relates to leadership. Find out who you are. That's what that character development is. You're not adapting to somebody else's, but you being who you were created to be. That's why we have a problem in the kingdom of God with people conforming to other people's anointing, is because we lack character development. When there is character development, there's no phoniness. Ain't nobody got to conform to wanting to be like somebody else, because character development has allowed them to discover who they really are. Okay? And so I wanted to come on here today to talk briefly to you guys about poor communication. I may actually come on a little later to talk about it a little bit more, but poor communication will collapse everything that you're building. It breaks up marriages. It breaks up churches. Poor communication will get you fired from your job. Okay? It will get you fired from your job. Fired from your job. Okay? It tells your managers that you are not ready for elevation. It really actually identifies the other flaws that you're actually dealing with.